Good evening. Welcome to the Atletico Madrid press conference with Diego Simeone and Antoine Griezmann. Let's start with questions for Antoine Griezmann. In the first leg, maybe the goals that didn't go in could go in here. And do you feel this could be your last European game for Atleti? Well, it is something I'm thinking about. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. It will be a great contest to be part of, and I hope we can have the right attitude, play with the right pressure, and build on our second half performance from the first leg. You played against this team before in this European semi-final. You scored in London and won the second leg. Can you see something similar happening tomorrow? Can you see yourself scoring an important goal? And looking back at your time at Atletico Madrid, how have you evolved as a player? Well, it doesn't really matter if I score or not. I prefer to win games and get, rather than necessarily scoring myself. I'm feeling calm. I'm not at all stressed. You can't play these games beforehand. You just have to stay calm. We know what we are capable of, and that's what I'm focused on. In March, there were rumours that you might leave before the season ends. Do you think you might have regretted missing a night like tomorrow? Well, I've always been clear that my aim was to stay here because we want to achieve something incredible. I have had no doubts, and now we're just one step away from another historic final. We know that as a team. We're very calm and we're confident for tomorrow's game. When you're one step from the final, how do you manage the pressure in the dressing room ahead of such an important game? And how key could your experience be? And in terms of the younger players who might be involved tomorrow, have you spoken to them about how to cope with the pressure? Champions League games are always different, and they're fantastic to be involved in. I've wanted to play in them since I was a young boy. I'm not really the type to speak too much to the younger players, but I prefer to set an example, and they're full of desire, and we're all motivated to play in this game. Of course, then there could be tactical areas where I can help my teammates, so I will always do that. And when it slows down or speeds up, we have to do well. And that's where I can help my teammates. For example, our captain is here more for doing the talking. As footballers, you visualise matches and victories. After the game at the Camp Nou, you possibly had 5 games left, and now there are just 2 left. Do you feel that you need to leave this club with victory in Budapest? Well, I'm just visualising tomorrow's game and what we need in terms of my teammates, the coach, and making sure we all know what we need to do. I'm not the type that can play the game beforehand. I just want to be mentally fresh, physically ready, and I'm looking forward to the match.
Sergio, estoy contento de esto. Primero quería darte la enhorabuena por el testimonio este año. Y quería preguntar.
I'd like to ask you about Alex Baena, because he's learning so much from you. And have you seen that influence in his first few months at the club? Well, I think that comes down to our style. He played at Villarreal and now he's playing more centrally, and he's contributing with goals and assists. He knows how far he has come already and how difficult it is. And I think I'm a similar player to him. With our coach, the teammates and the fans, of course he will find the keys to exploding here. How have you matured since your last Champions League final with Atletico Madrid? That was a very different final. I found the matches more stressful. We played at such pace and I didn't know when to stop or to take a break, but now I'm more of a complete player and calmer. I'm approaching the game with so much desire and I'm really looking forward to it. You think these moments will come back around, but sometimes they don't. I'm really excited about the game tomorrow and I'm going to enjoy it alongside my teammates, because playing in the Champions League semi-finals is certainly not a guarantee. Before the game against Barcelona, you said that you felt the same excitement as your son ahead of the match. Do you feel similarly ahead of this game? And you mentioned feeling fresh. So how do you achieve that freshness ahead of tomorrow's game? Of course, I have the same desire to see the stadium tomorrow and to see the Arsenal crowd, to see how the pitch is. So we're just looking forward to playing well. In terms of being fresh, I think it's often a mental thing. We know how lucky we are to play every 3 days, and you can't really stop to think about what you did in the last game. You just have to think about what you can contribute and how you can improve, knowing that you'll do well and help your teammates, both in attack and defence. And of course you have to enjoy it, because this is a game. It's the Champions League semi-finals, so it's an incredible opportunity to make history. And my teammates and I will give everything we can to reach the final and enjoy it.
If you can, please. It's a strange thing, really, that both Atletico Madrid and Arsenal haven't won a Champions League. As a young boy, that young boy you talk of, what would it mean for you to win the Champions League? Have you visualised it?
Sí, cada vez que...
Every time we start a Champions League campaign, you can see yourself lifting the trophy. And any child in their bedroom would do the same. We're just 2 games away now. We have to get it right tactically, defensively, and going forward. So we need to build on the second half from the first leg at home, which was really good. But of course, we need more goals. Questions for Diego Simeone. Antoine Griezmann was saying that over time he's managed to become calmer when it comes to visualising matches. On an afternoon like today, are you able to do that as well? Have you been thinking about what could happen tomorrow? Well, as coaches, of course, we have to think about what could happen, but it's down to the players. We need to manage everyone's emotions so that everyone heads into it in the best way and plays as well as possible. You can think about one idea or another, but the game changes as soon as it kicks off. Over time, you do become more patient. It's not about being passive, it's about being calm. And of course, that's what we need in this sort of game. Antoine Griezmann mentioned the second half in the first leg and how the players need to pick up from where you left off. Are you asking them a lot to repeat what they did in the second half? Well, of course I want them to repeat the second half performance. If it's as simple as that, then it would be great. You and Antoine Griezmann often talk about staying calm, keeping your heads and enjoying the game. We try to get you talking about pressure and other things, but what have you made of the players this week? Have they managed to stay calm so far? Well, I know you're always looking for headlines and interesting quotes for a semi-final, but the reality is that for us coaches and players, we just want the match to start now. We just want to get involved. And if we play well, we have a better chance of winning. So we all have to do it with what we have at our disposal. And of course, we'll try to play to our strengths, and so will Arsenal. Mikel Arteta mentioned the referee after the first leg, and it's a German referee tomorrow. Are you worried that there could be any issues there? No. Of course, you've spoken about taking it game by game this season, but it feels like tomorrow is not just one more game, because it could be another final for Atletico Madrid. So what does it mean to you, and how do you manage these games? Well, it's more of the same. We've played the games that we've needed to play to get here with the right level of intensity, and we hope that our leaders and as a team we're able to do what we need to do. We are confident of what we want in terms of the game, but it's not just down to us. There have been lots of games and lots of pressure in this long season, but now you are one step from the Champions League final. What do you think is the main factor for your players to go out there and show intensity, play with good tempo, confidence? We're convinced about what we need to do. Whatever plan is chosen, we will stick with until the end. Last weekend, you mentioned playing the freshest players. So how fresh are Alexander Sørloth, Juliano Simeone and Julián Álvarez? Well, they have all made progress. We hope they can all train later on and you'll be able to see. And tomorrow morning, we will decide. I'd like to ask you about Julián Álvarez, and how important do you think his performance tomorrow could be? Of course, Julián Álvarez is important in this sort of game. He knows the English league very well. He played really well last week, and I hope he can bring what we need in the game tomorrow.
Hello, Diego. John Cross, Daily Mirror. It's been reported that you've switched team hotels as something of superstition with regard to the game in October. Is that correct? Are you superstitious? And how much better is the team now as to where it was in October, and how much more prepared and ready will you be to win tomorrow?
I think we are doing better than in October, and the hotel was cheaper. That's why we changed.
Sorry if you already answered, maybe I missed it, but is Alexander Sørloth ready to play tomorrow? And if so, what kind of role do you see him having?
A very important role. We really need Alexander Sørloth. It was a shame that he was unable to come on in the home leg. We need him, whether it's for 45, 10 or 20 minutes. Last question. What is your routine tomorrow? Do you stay focused all day? What do you need to do? I just need to work hard. We are clear about what we need to do, and we hope to transmit that as clearly as possible because we want to put in a great performance. Thank you very much, everyone.